The purpose of the exercise for me was to introduce the notion of country from an Aboriginal person's perspective. And so I began by reading a piece that had been written by a woman called Deborah Bird Rose, where she talked about country. People talk about country in the same way that they would talk about a person. They speak to country, sing to country, visit country, worry about country, feel sorry for country and long for country. She's actually not an Aboriginal person, but she was able to spend so much time with Aboriginal people that over the years she began to understand that country meant so much to Aboriginal people, and that many of us who are not Aboriginal haven't really had that grounding in understanding how important country and the land and place is. So I really wanted to give the teachers here at Margate an opportunity to, through using a task, to explore their connection with country. I started by showing the group a whole lot of devices that really help us to think beyond what we can see with our eyes and what we can feel with our hands and what we have with our senses. So it's extending our capacity to use our senses, and also to be maybe approaching our place that we choose together in a meditative, contemplative kind of way, and also to do it as part of a group.
So we went down to an area under a sort of shady tree, and there were beautiful shadows on the ground, and lots of little creatures living in the tree, and we could, from where we were standing, you could just see trees. You know, you're hidden away. So it felt like you weren't really at school.
It was really lovely taking that time to look at the place in a really micro way, and I remember seeing the way the branches twisted and thinking how beautiful that was. I'd never ever taken the time to appreciate that before or to notice it.
When we were visiting our spot, one of the members of the group was taking photos of us being there, but also of the place, and we were at the time recording what we were thinking and feeling, and that was put together in a photo story with our thoughts and feelings as well as the visuals.
We took lots of photos and we talked a lot, and we brainstormed a lot of words, I think, and we talked about Lily a lot down there and how Lily interacts with it, because Lily has autism and is non-verbal. And it's really always interesting to observe her and observe what she observes. So we talked about that, and then Ashley sort of combined all that together. And I think our film really highlights the things that we liked and the things that we observed Lily had observed, and how she finds it a calming place, and we could understand that.
Part of this exercise is to find the place on the day that we were there, and then to keep returning to that place as the shadows and the light and the weather and the occupants and the plants all shift and change over the course of 2 weeks in this case.
We went back the next morning and it was a totally different place, it seemed like. It was lovely to see it in a different light and to hear different noises, and we noticed things we hadn't noticed before because the light was different and the shade was different.
It was really nice to revisit it, and it was nice to go with a group of people for the rest of this year, next year, whatever, as long as we're all here, we'll all know that that was our place.
I think everyone's really liked the opportunity to engage in our environment in a much closer way. And I think because we're all teachers, we all work with students, we're always thinking about how we can then use this with our students to engage them, not only, I guess, with the environment and the land, but how we can use it to engage them in other areas of the curriculum as well.
I can see that it would be a way of teachers starting to do some work around Aboriginal studies in their classrooms, and I could see it was a very, very easy way to start.
We're in a place in education where you can't just do one thing. You kind of have to pick as many things up from one experience as you can, but I think going to it from the point of view of really connecting with country, because the word country is, we're seeing it a lot now. We do an acknowledgement or a welcome to country to all our assemblies, and we've talked about it a lot with our Aboriginal Story Garden. So I think that notion of actually just calm down a minute and spend some time in one space and look at what's around you and look at nature in the macro as well as holistically, and try and connect with that would be a really rich and powerful thing to do. And it would be but then moving on from that, being able to connect it to literacy and maths and science.
I'm hoping that we can learn from the Aboriginal people who have demonstrated and lived their connection to country and land throughout their entire lives, that I can realise for myself that I have a deep visceral connection to country and that is part of me. And if I can have an opportunity to understand that, then I firmly believe that I can be more resonant with the way that Aboriginal people approach their understanding of country and land. And I guess my heart desire is that teachers have that opportunity to find out for themselves. And so I'm hoping that we are changed by this activity and that helps us to change how we view other people.